Hello, guys, and welcome to the Nacho Show. In today's society, it has become popular to cancel products and services that do not follow our political views. We see this happen often on social media when someone finds out that a company or person they support has different views than them. However, what we don't realize is that by doing this, we're only causing division. All companies or products and services that we love and enjoy sometimes have opposite views than ours. And by consuming those products, we are in fact supporting those views. What do you think? Instead of cancel culture, let's start promoting open mindedness and understanding. By doing this, we can learn to accept each other's despite our differences. We will go ahead and discuss this today here at The Nacho Show. Hi, and welcome to the wonderful The Nacho Show. This is Ignacio Valdez here from the beautiful Ogden, Utah. And I just wanted to remind you that this November 12 and 13 in Salt Lake City, we're going to have a really nice expo called the Red Pill Expo, November 12 and 13 in Salt Lake City. Just go to the website the redpillexpo.com, and if you want to buy your tickets, please enter the code NACHO, NACHO, in order for you to receive a really nice discount to enter into this expo. All right, well, we do have today a wonderful speaker, activist, and a really good friend. Her name is Jamie Renda. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and I loved your introduction. That's fantastic introduction there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Well, folks, I just want to let you guys know that Jamie got me started into the podcasting thing to promote liberty and freedom, and I just owe it to her. That's all I can say.
And you've taken off, and you've done an incredible job with it. It's been over a year now, hasn't it?
It's been a little bit over than a year since I started the podcasting thing. I always had it in my mind, but I was like, how do I do it? And what do I do and everything. But yeah, you definitely inspired me, and you gave me that push that, yeah, come on, you do it.
Well, you've done a fantastic job, and I've been amazed at all the different people you've had on your program, and all the different messages that you've shared with the people here in Utah.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And it's your fault. It's your fault.
I'll take all the blame. I think it's fantastic. So.
Well, thank you so much. All right, Jamie. Well, the topic that we're going to be talking about today, and I think you're the perfect person to talk about this. And we were discussing this a little bit, off camera, is the fact that are we feeding the beast? My wife and I, we had a conversation the other day about this, and she actually said this exactly sentence: "Are we feeding the beast?" So we love Disney. Let's go ahead and start by that. Growing up, and I'm gonna speak for myself. I don't know about you, but and most of people, they love Disney. And Disney has become a very leftist leaning type of company because obviously, whoever they have in leadership right now. And they're listening to a very minor percentage of individuals that want everything changed just to fit their narrative. And they really are screwing up everybody else's life because of that. Now, I'm a very big fan of Disney, and, and my wife and I, we are. But now, by supporting Disney, like by going into Disney cruises, which I'm guilty of that. Like it's it's a guilty pleasure, that we're giving ourselves here. going to Disneyland, in all of the parks and everything like that, we're like, wow. I mean, we love Disney, but they're turning to the left like really, really bad. And then are we like supporting them? Like, are we doing badly by supporting them? What do you think? What are your thoughts there?
I have kind of conflicting views. I would not support someone just because they don't believe or align with my policies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at the same time, when they're directly trying to cancel my voice and cancel other people of similar thought processes as me, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and they're promoting things that are harmful to children,
Mm-hmm.
I think it reaches a point in which you have to take a stand. And so it's kind of, I've always believed in the power of being able to use your money to support your value system.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think I would cancel anyone just because they don't believe. My restaurant. Of course, I've recently sold my restaurant. I don't know if you know that,
Oh, I
but
didn't know that.
yeah, but I use my restaurant as my First Amendment platform. And
Mm-hmm.
I definitely understood anybody who did not want to spend their dollars there because my message was counter to their belief system. And I support their right to do that,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because I was very open in my political views. Now, I wasn't hateful to people of my
Mm-hmm.
opposite of my views. I was just very support, use my restaurant to support my political views because I didn't feel my views were going to get out there on Facebook or the media. So I use my business as a political statement in downtown Ogden.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I lost a lot of customers based on that. And again, I totally think it's within their right not to have eaten at my restaurant if it made them feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I never tried to shut down their voices. Matter of fact, I encourage conversations and I encourage dialogue during this whole process. So,
Mm-hmm.
at what point, but again, even without me trying to shut down their voices, they still had the right not to spend their dollars at a restaurant that they felt went
True.
against their political belief system. Now, where I draw the line personally, though, is when someone actively tries to shut down my voice. If they're actively trying to
Mm.
shut down my voice, then I will not put my dollars into their business.
Agree. Agree. And well, I mean, I'm sorry to hear that you lost customers over your political views, though. That definitely is. Um, yeah, I mean, a big deal. And I didn't know you sold your business, though. Which probably you're out of stress now, right?
I almost gave it away. I'd made the decision. I've been teetering with it off and on. I just couldn't do everything that I wanted to do. Example, I
Hmm.
stopped doing our podcast platform last January with the hopes of doing a video podcast and setting
Hmm.
up a video podcast room, and just was not able to do everything. And so I made the decision one day I was going to sell it and needed to be quick and painless as much as possible. So I basically gave it away. I called 5 families that I felt would benefit from it,
Hmm.
and sold it within 24 hours. And
Oh
now
wow.
we have been focusing on getting our podcast room and situated in Ogden. So we'll have so you have yours set up at home, but hopefully
Hmm.
when you have somebody you want to interview in person, you can come in and do that in the Path
Yeah,
Forward podcast.
that will be awesome, and I will definitely take you up on that. So we're talking about consuming products or services that have different political views. Now, because the topic is such, then there are products and services that we consume. We are on the same circle of political views, you and I. But what about when we don't know? Um, what about when we don't know when we're consuming something that has our opposite views, though?
Again, I don't have an issue with anybody who has an opposite view of mine. I
Mm-hmm.
only I only take issue when they try to use their platform or use their machinery, if you will, to shut down my free speech,
Mm-hmm.
and to cancel me, or to allow people on their platforms to try to cancel people that have like-minded thoughts of mine,
Mm-hmm.
to get them fired from their jobs or other things of that nature. So again, that's where I take a stance is I don't care if they have opposite political views. I care if they're using their platform or their business to
To shut you
harm
down.
to intentionally harm people that don't believe in like-minded ways.
Uh-huh. And it often this gets very taken out of context, or it gets taken to the extreme, because if somebody, and I think it's a natural thing with tribalism or tribalism. I don't know how you say the word. That like we are who we are, and then whatever that comes outside of our circle, then we have to reject it.
Yeah.
Um.
And I'm a big advocate of free speech. And so I believe in giving other people that same opportunity of free speech. And so I guess that's just where my line is drawn. We cannot do the same as the left has done to us.
Mm,
But there
mhm,
but there are lines that get drawn in the sand that we do have to support businesses that align with our values when those businesses are intentionally trying to do harm
mm,
to us and our voices.
mhm. What would have happened if you did not use your political well, First Amendment rights on your business? What do you think would have happened? Do you think would you still be in business?
Oh, I didn't sell my restaurant because I wasn't doing well. So that had nothing to do. I knew I made a very conscious decision
Mm-hmm.
that I would lose customers when I used my
Mm,
political views. And I just had to make that decision based on would I be able to balance and keep enough people aligned with my views, or enough fair-minded people that
mm-hmm.
didn't agree with me but still liked my food, would they still come there?
Yeah.
And I felt like it did balance itself out. But I did get a lot of hate. And again,
Mm,
I was not coming out directly and trying to shut down other people's views. I was just using my restaurant as a free
mm-hmm.
speech platform, for the people I support politically and for the
Mm-hmm.
messages I support politically. But again, I always welcomed a conversation with anyone who wanted to give a divergent point of view. So again,
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel we ever tried to shut down other people's viewpoints.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreeable. And that's what, well, in my case, I also do have a small business though, and I just don't, I don't talk about my political my political views to my clients, or my religion, or I just try to keep everything like straight to the point, and what we have to accomplish, on projects and things like that. um
And that's
and
probably the wiser route to go. So,
yeah.
yeah, I'm not advocating for anyone to do what I did. I just at the time in
Uh-huh.
2020 decided that
Hmm.
my free speech and standing up for freedoms was more important than losing customers.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
and
I
that's.
don't advocate for people to make that same decision in their businesses though.
Mhm. I agree. I agree with that. And but my thing, and maybe you can also help me understand this. Um, speaking about doing wise things. So um, I am very political, as you may know, and as you can tell, hello, right here, make America great again. So I and you and I are friends on Facebook, and you and I have done work together, and we know what we stand for. Now, as far as letting clients to be on your own social media, where they didn't even know that you you stand for what you stand for, then is it wise to allow clients to friend you on social media?
I don't know if you have a lot of choice in that, unless you have everything on private. I mean, I don't have my social media on private. Anything I
Mm-hmm.
put out there, again, I'm just speaking from my standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Anything I put out there, I look at as for public consumption, and anybody is going to have access to it. So I
Mm-hmm.
do so knowing that whatever I go into in today's world, people will know where I stand politically. But I think there
Mm-hmm.
is a balance between we have a mutual friend, a lady MAGA USA,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
I love him.
he was a political activist, a gay conservative drag queen, and was very active for the very message on your hat, MAGA, Make America Great Again. Now he worked for an airline. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and he never mentioned in his political activism where his place of employment was. And he never crossed the boundaries between his place of employment and his activism at work, which I felt like he had very good boundaries established. But nonetheless, he ended up losing his job because of his political activism, even though the particular airline he worked for was very politically active on causes that did not align with his value system. He did not publicly ever come out and criticize them
Mm-hmm.
for that. So, in today's world, Ignacio, there's no getting away with if you're going to be active in your political voice, being able to conceal that. Somebody's going to find out. But there's a difference between being
Mm-hmm.
professional, like in your business, you create websites and other technology platforms. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So there's a difference between your personal life of activism and your professional life of creating a product and service for people. And if you're creating a product and service for people in your business and your business is not trying to push your personal views, to me, there's no reason why someone would not use your services.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that there will be people who won't use your services because they get on to see where you are at.
Yeah.
And so that again, that's where I draw my line. I would never not use someone's services because they did not align with my political views.
Yeah.
I'd only not use their services if they were trying to harm or shut my free speech down because they didn't agree with my political views. If they were using their business to intentionally harm me or shut down my free speech, then I would not recommend or people of like minds free speech, then I would not use their business. So again,
Mm.
it doesn't mean that people aren't going to, look you up online and recognize that, hey, he's wearing that MAGA hat, so I'm not going to use his business. But it's a gamble we take using our free speech.
Yeah, I agree with that. And you pretty much encircled everything here. And you have a very um, you have a very strong line of directing yourself in the right direction as far as consuming products. Now, let's talk about the left here for a little bit. Well, we're gonna go on a commercial break here in a couple more minutes, but um, do you think that we are also doing well? Okay, and I'm just going to speak generally because we are who we are. We are on the right side of things. We uh,
I like how you said that we're on the right side of things, and yes, we are. I mean,
well, it's a matter of fact we are.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we're
And
on the right, and we're on the right side too. So anyway,
yeah.
we're on the right side of history.
Exactly. So I mean we are conscious about that. The left doesn't care who you are, what services you are, and still they try to cancel you no matter what. I mean, I've had I have friends out there that they do have their businesses, and I mean I've used their services, and we're totally cool, and we don't cross the lines on being political. And I think that a lot of people are really tired of fighting. That's what I've been feeling, from others. But I mean, I'm gonna keep doing my activism. I'm gonna keep doing my Facebook fighting thing. Because I'm a busy guy. I do have my own responsibilities here, at home with my family and my business and things like that. And sometimes it's difficult to go out there and be physically everywhere. But I'm still going to defend my stance and my position, and I'm not gonna let that go, like whatsoever. So we will go ahead and talk more about how is it that the left acts, as far as canceling everything. And we're just gonna go for a little commercial break, and we will be right back. And remember, this is the Nacho Show.
As a small business owner, you know that having a website is crucial to your success. But what you may not know is that designing and developing a website can be expensive. That's where Solidify Web comes in. Solidify Web offers affordable website design and development that will produce a website that is clean and tailored to fit your business needs. Plus, we offer search engine optimization services to help you obtain top rankings for your desired search terms, driving qualified leads to your site. Creating a website for your business is one of the most important things you can do in today's economy. Your website is your storefront and first impression for many potential customers. It is crucial that you have a clean, fresh, and well-designed website that represents your business the best way possible. We can create a stunning website for you that is both easy to use and navigate and ranks high in search engines. Contact us today to learn more about how we can help you take your business to the next level. As a physician, Dr. Robinson personally treated thousands of patients for their accident-related injuries, and as such, has an in-depth understanding of your physical complaints and injuries. It was at this time that Dr. Robinson discovered the difficulties of dealing with auto insurance companies. We know how difficult it can be for someone to handle their own case. Our personal injury law firm is dedicated to helping others navigate the difficulties involved in auto accident injuries, slip and fall injuries, brain injuries, trucking accidents, dog bite injuries, pedestrians and wrongful death cases. Why handle it alone? You can now have a law firm with not only legal experience, but also medical experience. Our attorneys and staff are focused on achieving the best possible outcome for you. Get what you deserve. At the Robinson Injury Law, you will be able to speak directly with your attorney. You may be just a number with other law firms and auto insurance companies, but at Robinson Injury Law, your case is our priority. Robinson Injury Law. Helping accident injury victims is all we do. Call today for a free consultation to see if you have a case. Utah 801-845-HURT 4878.
Nacho Graphics is a professional graphic design company that offers unlimited graphic design services to small, medium, and large businesses. We pride ourselves on providing high-quality, affordable design services that are customized to meet the specific needs of our clients. Our team of talented designers is passionate about creating unique, eye-catching designs that will help your business stand out from the competition. Whether you need a new logo or marketing materials, we will work with you to create a custom solution that fits your needs and exceeds your expectations. At Nacho Graphics, we understand that each company has different graphic design needs. That's why we offer an unlimited graphic design service that can be customized to fit the specific needs of your business. We believe that great design should be accessible to all businesses, regardless of size. So, if you're looking for a graphic design company that can provide you with high-quality custom designs at an affordable price, look no further than Nacho Graphics. Contact us today to learn more about our unlimited graphic design services and how we can help your business grow. Check out our website, www.nachographics.com, or call 801-869-0523.
And welcome back to the Nacho Show. This is Ignacio Valdez from the beautiful Ogden, Utah. And it's getting cold. It's getting chilly here. and I'm ready to go skiing. Yeah,
Well,
right.
you've climatized to America. So you came from the sunshine country, and now you get
Uh-huh.
four seasons. Where you came from in Mexico, do y'all have multiple seasons, or is it just predominantly
It's
like this spring,
predom-
summer?
it's pretty much a summary. I come from Monterrey, Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah, Monterrey is very humid, and it's like 3 hours away from Laredo, Texas. And Yeah, it is super humid, and it rains. It rains quite a bit in the winter time, and it snows pretty much every 10 years or
Okay.
something like that. So it does snow a little bit, but not as much as it does here in Utah. That's for sure. And yeah, a lot of people, because they're not used to, like the snow. They just go out there and start doing crazy things, and there are lots of accidents and whatnot.
Yep. Well, I love the sunshine, but we need the snowpack. So I'll be grateful for the
Yeah.
water that we're getting right now, and
Oh yeah.
help us get us out of this drought that we've been in.
Yeah, especially, yeah, you said it, especially with this drought that we got going on, and I think that really is being caused by the leadership of our state, and I really do blame them for that.
Well,
Um,
I think it's caused by many things. I know we're jumping topics here, but a lot of people don't understand that 8% of our water goes to China. Did you know that?
what?
8% of our water goes to China. And the reason, let me break it down to you. 82% of the water consumption in Utah is used by our agriculture. And
Uh-huh.
out of that 82%, half of that goes to alfalfa. So 41% of our water is used in growing alfalfa, which is a very high intense need, water intensive uh, plant. And out of that 41% that is grown alfalfa, 20% of that alfalfa goes to China. So that makes 8% of our water goes to China.
No
Yeah.
way.
And that 8% would save so I have mixed feelings, should, you know, property owners have the right to do what they want on their land to some extent.
Uh-huh.
But if people are being told they can't keep their lawns that they've spent tens of thousands of dollars
Hmm.
green, then I think we should be able to curtail the alfalfa production here in Utah by 20%. And that would solve our water dilemma. And so that's just my
Well,
thought on water. I mean, it may be a simplistic approach, but I think it's a starting point of conversation.
well, this definitely could be another topic for another episode of the Nacho Show, having you on board. But yeah, did you see what I'm saying? It's like, why is our leadership really being sold into China and feeding the beast?
Yep.
Yeah,
So I mean that's just one example, and if the gross domestic product of Utah was highly impacted by our alfalfa production, I would say, well, we might have to look at that again, but it's less than 1% of uh,
Mhm.
of Utah's gross domestic product. So yet it's consuming 41% of our water, and yet and out of that 41%, I mean a total of 20% of that, which is 8% of the water in Utah, is going to China. So it definitely has to be
Wow.
reevaluated.
Wow. So, does our legislature know about this?
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, our legislature does know this. Now, I guess not all of our legislature knows this, but enough of them know it to know that that's a problem. The lobbying industry is very live and well in Utah as it is in America.
Hmm.
And, if all homeowners that had to sacrifice their lawns this past year were to organize the same lobbying effort and saying, no, we want green lawns in Utah. We don't want, we all need to be more wise. Uh,
Hmm.
I'm not a believer in global warming or global climate change as it's presented, and it's not
Uh-huh.
that I'm not a believer in it. It's that it takes our eye off what we can do to make a
Hmm.
difference when we're looking at things on this global scale. that they tell us, because that's really all about redistribution of wealth more than it's
Mm,
about protecting our resources. We all need to be good stewards of the resources we consume. I have a very small thumbprint. I drive very little. I live in a
mhm,
modest house.
mhm.
Um, I just live a life that's very friendly to our environment, and I think we all need to take personal responsibility there.
Yeah,
But there's some things that I don't want to give up on. I think it's important to have trees and grass and parks
of course.
and so I look at the balance there. Where can we in Utah be more wise in our consumption? Make sure the Salt Lake is not going to dry up, because there's a lot of
Mm,
horrible ramifications if that happens. And
mm,
we need to
mm.
be focused in on being good stewards of Utah.
Agreed. Wow, you're just making me think so many. Goodness. Well, let's go back to the topic here. We're still on feeding the beast, and like unconsciously, we actually do that. And straight up, before we get into the show, we talked about a little bit on how we have iPhones, and how we're feeding the beast by purchasing iPhones and everything like that. The other day, I don't know, I think there was some sort of icon or an emoji of a man being pregnant. I don't know if you remember that, and
It
then I
looked it looked like Bill Gates. This is what Bill Gates would look like if he were pregnant.
I know.
And I think actually Elon Musk used that as an emoji for Bill Gates. So anyway, it's funny you bring that up because it does look like Bill Gates. But
Yeah, that's for sure. And you can see how oh my gosh, because we have our phones, we pay our bills, and everything, and sometimes we don't know who we're giving our money to. I'm gonna give you another example that I talked to you a little bit about ago. The Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola was started by a general in the Confederacy, down south. And you can, I mean, everybody can look that up. I mean, and they will be able to find that out. And we see a lot of people in the left, they love Coca-Cola, and they don't realize, obviously, yeah, the company has changed hands and everything like that, but they don't realize that that's where it come from.
I'm going to take Coca-Cola into the 21st century here, because I personally do feel like in redemption for companies, for personal, you know, we do things that, to hold people accountable. Again, a business that's been around since the Civil War,
Hmm.
for standards of which they lived in that day, I don't think is necessarily a fair standard if the people have evolved and have changed. And but however, where Coca-Cola really should be held accountable is the way they go in and manipulate, and by their do good policies, they, try to make it look like, look at us, we're doing all these eco-friendly policies, but at the same time they're in there poisoning and a
Hmm.
very addictive product onto countries, um, that's
Yeah.
been very detrimental to the health of the countries in which they go into. So I wouldn't, again, I would look at Coca-Cola for their hypocrisy today more than I
Hmm.
would look at what they did 150 years ago, and their hypocrisy
Hmm.
today, going in there and trying to present because we're friendly to the environment. They're really not even that friendly to the environment. They just have some. I think I froze. I don't know if I'm froze verbally or just on the picture, but anyway. So again, I think we hold people accountable to where they are today, not to where they
Yeah.
were before. Adidas is another company that was founded, and their owners were
Mm,
Nazis.
exactly.
Again, um, where's the ownership of that country today? And
Hmm.
so again, I'm not a believer that people should be canceled for something they did when they were young and dumb.
Mhm.
if they've changed their viewpoints and they've recognized that was really stupid, that was not
Mhm.
right of me to be in that mindset, or
Right.
our world has changed. So it's where are people today?
I agree 100% with that. And I mean, I don't know. And this is how I take it. I consume something because of because of what it is. Now, um, if I ever go to Disneyland, I told my wife, hey, you know what? I'm not going to post anything like that on Facebook because my own circle is gonna eat me alive if I do. And it's happened. And you know, and I feel that we're doing the same thing that the leftists are doing, condemning others for consuming products or services of companies that are from the opposite side.
Yeah.
Uh
Well, I'm a big believer in freedom, Nacho. And so,
huh.
like when the vaccines were being forced upon people,
Hmm.
I stood up against that. I do not believe that we should be mandated, especially to something that we're not that familiar with. But at the same time, the people, if you will, on our side who were anti-vaccination,
Hmm.
oftentimes were very condemning to people
Hmm.
who chose to get vaccinated. And to
Yeah.
me, it's about freedom. Uh, and respecting individuals' freedoms.
Yeah.
So if you don't believe vaccinations are good, I'm going to respect your medical freedom for you and your family to make your decisions. But at the same time, I chose to get vaccinated not because
Hmm.
I'm a big believer in the vaccination, but
Right.
because for my individual family circumstance,
Yeah.
I had a daughter that had a newborn baby, and she
Hmm.
felt more comfortable. So again, I've seen that happen from our side multiple times,
Hmm.
condemning um, people for their personal decisions.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. And you know, same with me. You know, I'm a diabetic, and I decided to do the shot, and the reasons why is because of that. You know, um, because the China virus was invented, it was fabricated, and I'm gonna say that because I can say whatever I want in my show. It was invented in China, and it harms more the Hispanic population and the Black population as well, and harms more diabetics. And one of my uncles actually in Mexico passed away in 2020 because of the China virus, and he was wearing masks and everything like that. You know, that tells you that the masks don't work. That's, you know, my perception of it. But do you see who's the racist now?
Yeah.
You know, like they're trying to get rid of us, but then making people.
Well,
Uh,
I don't know if the
hmm.
China virus was created just to disproportionately hurt minorities or not. I have a question. Am I frozen on your end or just on my end?
You're frozen on my end as well.
How
Something's
do I fix that? Do you
funny.
know?
Well, maybe you unplug your camera and plug it back in.
Oh, okay.
But everybody can.
I don't want to mess up the show here, so I was just trying to figure out, it's not the best picture of me being frozen in, but that's okay. We'll just uh, continue. Maybe on the next commercial break, I can figure that out.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
oh, now you decide to make me big there.
Oh, I'm
But
sorry about that.
yeah, I don't know. Again, things have got to be about freedom and respect.
Uh-huh.
You choosing to go to Disneyland because it's an important vacation for you and your family. It's a family tradition. Uh,
Hmm.
Even though you may not be supporting everything that Disney's doing, as I don't support, again, that's your
Hmm.
individual freedom to do that. Where it's my freedom at this point in my life that if I don't want to have Disney Plus because I don't agree with
Mm.
what they are doing, or if I choose not to go
Oh yeah.
and support Disney, that's my freedom to do that. Now, we both may feel the same about Disney and what they're
Hmm.
doing, but our actions of supporting Disney or not supporting Disney may not totally align with each other. And I think that again, that's a respect issue
Yeah.
that we have to have for each other. That I shouldn't condemn you because you went to Disneyland, and any more
Hmm.
than you should condemn me because I'm not going to Disneyland. I think we've got to support freedom.
Uh-huh. And it is the same way as saying, you have the we'll have the right to choose what where we want to go, and because it is being given on that unto us, that freedom is already given, it's God given. But I also have the right to listen, to not go to a setting where I don't feel comfortable, or I have the right of, of not to do whatever they're doing. Like for example, the the pride parades. I don't want to go to a pride parade, and I don't care about them. I don't care about their movement. So I'm gonna stay home. I'm gonna go in the mountains. I'm gonna do something else. But I don't have to feel obligated to go just because somebody's whining about it, that they're not being accepted. You know, I don't know. Like, and like you said, I love Ryan. Ryan, if you're watching this, I love you and everything like that. I respect him. Like he does what he does. And it's a matter of respect. Each other and our lifestyles and everything like that. You know what I mean? But we're not obligated to participate in something that we don't want.
And just
Or
just as a shout out to Ryan on that, Ryan doesn't believe in going to pride parades either.
oh, all
Even though
right.
he's LGBT,
Uh-huh.
he doesn't support the pride parade because of the level in which they have sunk to or have been at for some time on things are allowed to happen at a pride parade that would not be allowed to happen in a heterosexual environment.
Mm-hmm.
People's bodies being exposed, the type of things that go on pride parades
Mm-hmm.
that it has nothing to do with him is being a gay man. It has to do with the over
Mm-hmm.
sexualization of our society. And so,
Mm-hmm.
again, even as a gay person, not all gay people align with the same thoughts. And so
Yeah,
I think we've got to, again, allow free speech to take place so we can have the conversations necessary to come up with good policy and maintain freedoms.
I agree. Yeah, you mentioned fantastic points here during our show. And to conclude, we'll just, reinforce those points here that we talked about. Number one was respect, respect of each other. If you want to be respected, then I'm going to be respected. I'm going to respect you. The other one is freedom. Freedom of speech, which unfortunately the left, they don't like freedom of speech. It's either their way or the highway.
And sometimes the right, there's sometimes that those of us on the right can impose those same restrictions on people.
You get me? And we all do have our flaws, and we and we have to be better. I think at really proclaiming truth and proclaiming freedom. And the one thing that really caught my eye here in this conversation is the fact that uh, supporting a business that is or a service that uses their platforms to hurt us and our and our views, such as Facebook. Facebook does that a lot. The other day, I was actually I received a notification of a memory that I had of a picture of me with a Trump banner, and I was trying to actually like share it, but Facebook would not allow me to share it. It was inhabilitated. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But then I went to another picture that I had on the memories, and I clicked on the button that says share, and I was able to share it. And like, what the heck? And I was going back and forth, and I actually rebooted my phone and everything like that, and still could not share that picture of me with the Trump banner. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, things have a way of working out, and if you have a real capitalistic society, because we do have other options now: Parlor, Truth Social,
Yeah.
Gab. There's many others, and you see people like even Russell Brand. And I don't know if any of y'all out there have listened to Russell Brand lately, but he is
Oh, I
not
haven't.
He is not a conservative, but he is rocking it on getting the truth out. And he
Wow.
is a liberal, Hollywood, if you will, or entertainer, has
Mhm.
been red pilled and he has been shut down and demonetized on
Mm.
multiple platforms. And he has recently made a switch over to Parler. And you see a lot of traditional liberals who have had their voices shut down too. So it's not just conservatives.
Mhm.
And so we do have to start supporting those platforms that are allowing free speech. And it's a hard transition because we're used to certain social
Mhm.
medias, but we're going to have to make those uncomfortable changes and add additional social medias
Mhm.
um, to our platforms.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it also reminds me of this guy. He's super funny. I think Maher. I don't remember what
Bill
his
Maher, yeah,
Bill Maher.
Maher,
Yeah,
yeah,
there you go. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, he was mentioning that the Democrat Party left him
yep.
because he is a liberal, but then he's not the type of liberal that the Democrats proclaim. You know what I mean?
And fortunately for Bill, he's got his own platform on television, or he would have probably been shut down on social media.
Mm,
And as good as I appreciate the things Bill Maher's been coming out and saying, but I'm just going to give a big plug for Russell Brand. For those of you who really want to watch
mhm,
somebody who is about the truth and exposing both left and right,
mhm.
Russell Brand's doing an incredible job.
Wow. Yeah, I gotta listen to him and see what. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you so much, Jamie. We have come to the conclusion of this show. I do appreciate you, even though you froze and over there. But thanks so much for being here with me, and I do appreciate that very much. And I will keep appreciating everything that you've done for me. So. Thank you so much, everybody. And we will see you next time. Thank you for watching The Nacho Show. Don't forget to subscribe and go to my website, www.thenachoshow.com, for more information and content. Thank you. Have a good night.